Alright, so I'm going to show how to replace the battery on this MacBook Pro. There's a 13-inch model A1708, mid 2017. The process should be the same on the late 2016 model as well. Alright, so first we're going to need a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver. We're going to remove the screws from the bottom. You want to keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them with the flat side down like this, and I'll put them in the pattern I remove them. So I'll do it like this. I got two at the top, so I'll put those two side by side, and then I'll get the four here and I'll put those side by side. All right. Okay, so remove all four screws here. Alright, and once we get rid of all the screws, we're going to pop this out. So these bottom corner screws are also longer than the two middle here, but these are longer as well, so in case you mix them up, hopefully that'll help. Alright, so we're going to use a suction cup. You could also use two pieces of tape. Just put the tape like on the bottom and then have them meet at the center, so it's like a pull tab. But I'm going to do this with a suction cup. Alright, so I'm going to turn it around so it's easier for me to do. Use the suction cup, pull this up, and then you can get underneath the cover here. Alright, once you get under the cover, I like to pull this up with my fingernails. Alright, and then there's the bottom here. I'm going to push that down with my thumb while I pull up with my other fingers, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Go around, just like this, and push with my thumb. Alright, once you've clicked both, there's also center clips. Usually when you pull the two side ones, those will come up automatically. Alright, then you grab the side here, and then you pull down. So I like to wrap my fingers over so the thing doesn't fall over. I'll use one finger here to push down, and then I'll use my other fingers and my palm to pull down here, just like that. Sometimes it's really difficult to pull. Usually once you pull one side down, the other one will easily come out. All right, just like that. And then we'll lift this cover off, and we'll see here. So their battery, they said, is only lasting like 2 minutes. It is slightly inflated here, so most likely their battery is bad. Alright, to be safe, what we're going to do... Oh, somebody already took this stuff out, I guess. So, normally this will be here. Okay, and then you just peel this thing up. It has some adhesive there, so it might be a little bit tough to pull it off. Alright, and then there's usually a water sticker here, or liquid detecting sticker here. So, if that gets wet, it turns red, but it was white, it looks like. Alright, anyways, we're going to disconnect the battery first. So to disconnect the battery, there's this little plastic tab that's over here. You want to peel that up. Alright, and then we're going to flip this latch here. Okay, just like that. Once you flip that latch, you can grab the cable, and then you can kind of wiggle and pull it out. There we go. Now we're going to remove this, and then these two screws. I believe they're both T5 or Torx 5 screws. So first thing you want to remove is this one. Okay, using the T5 screw. Again, keep the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. Alright, once you remove that screw, what you want to do is pull this metal tab up slightly so that when you look at it, it's no longer touching this board down here. Okay, then we're going to remove all the four screws across here, the two holding this battery board down and the two holding this trackpad down. Let me see if they're all the same size. They might be different. So remove these two. Okay. So here you can see the battery board is now loose. Okay. Okay, these are also T5, so let's remove these as well. Okay, just like that. Alright, so once you do that, you'll just pop... Oh, actually, after you disconnect the battery, let's go ahead and open this. Alright, and then we'll press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds to drain any power. Alright, this will prevent damage if you do happen to like short something. It'll make the risk a lot less. Alright, 10 to 15 seconds. Dusty here. Okay, so that should be good. All right, after that, we're going to disconnect the trackpad cable here. Just get underneath, and then using your fingernails or pry tools, you kind of just lift this up, just like that. I use both corners. There's an adhesive here we're gonna have to peel up. You wanna kind of pull it this way to keep the adhesive, the cable flat. You don't wanna like bend it up backwards, okay? And there we go. All right, now we're going to remove all the screws along here. I believe these are T3. Let me see what the T5, yeah, okay. So we're gonna switch to a T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver, and we're gonna remove all these screws. So, how come it's not fitting here? Let me see. Oops, okay, I'm really, okay, so there's 2 screws here and then 2 screws here. You don't need to remove those. Those are for the clips for the cover. Let me see if it's T5 actually. Okay, sorry, they're all T5, Torx 5 screws. Okay, so we'll remove these. All right. 2. 3. So this model is kind of nice. You only need 2 screwdrivers to do most of this battery replacement. Okay, there's also 1 screw down here, so remember to remove that as well. All right, same thing with the other side. Remove the 1 screw down there, and then remove the 4 screws here. All right, after you remove all of these, to get the trackpad out, you want to make sure not to turn it over because there's some little washers on there that fall off really easily. Okay, hopefully the other person that worked on it didn't drop it or anything. So let's see if I take it out. There should be the washers in there. So what you do, let me zoom out. Okay, just open up the MacBook slightly and then make sure the cable can drop through the hole, just like this. There we go. Okay, and then slowly, carefully lift the trackpad out. Okay. I don't think they moved this. Okay, so this one actually has these rectangular shaped washers, so that's good. And then there's these little circle washers on the bottom one here, so make sure you don't lose those. They fall off really easily, so I have to be careful even just brushing the dust off of it. Okay, so we'll set that aside. I'm gonna have to clean the dust up on here. It's kind of dusty, it's hard to, oh, there you go. Yeah, so I'm gonna clean that out as well. All right, so this battery is kind of nice. There's only 3 packs. So what you need a thin, flat tool like this, all right? And you want it to be flexible, nothing like super hard, because otherwise you could easily break or puncture this. Okay, so what I do is I find like where there's a good gap here. I don't know if somebody opened this before because it doesn't look like it's evenly placed, so this might not be original Apple either. All right, so anyways, you find a gap where you can, and you basically get the tool underneath there, okay? So let's see if we can, this one seems, oh, it's already loose. So whoever worked on this, I guess they already pried the battery out, but normally you would like go in and you'd like scrape all this adhesive up, okay? Like around there, around the sides, and then you'd go underneath here. Same thing over here. All right, wherever there's a gap, you would go ahead and scrape under there. So the person actually did the hard part for me, but yeah, normally you would go along and scrape all this adhesive out. You want to be very careful not to hit all these other components. Sorry I can't show how difficult this actually is because it's a real pain in the butt removing all this adhesive. I think I made some other videos on these showing it, so if you wanted, I have some videos up. Yeah, but anyways, then you slide it over to the left like this. We are going to have to transfer this this little connector here over. So this one is the same as the other. Let me zoom in and kind of show this. So this one, the connector's the same. You just flip up the latch, flip up the latch like this. All right, once you flip up the latch, you can kind of wiggle and pull that out. It comes out just like that. All right, and then we're gonna set this aside. This battery's bad. Okay, I do still have to remove the adhesive. So they cut the adhesive, as you can see it's like this foam stuff, but they didn't actually peel off the adhesive from it. So the adhesive is still all stuck to here. So I'm going to use this plastic razor blade to kind of help. So usually what works is you kind of get it started, peel up a bit of it, and then once you do that you can peel the adhesive out just like this. All right, just like that. And we do that with all of them. So this adhesive is actually peeling up quite nicely. All right, get that, and then peel that up. It's not leaving much residue, that's nice. Yeah, so this one I'm not gonna really have to do much cleanup either, it looks like. All right. And also when you pry up the center, as you can see there's like these big holes here. So when you're scraping up or cutting through this adhesive, when you're going underneath the battery, you want to be careful that you're not cutting or going through there and then poking into the screen. All right, so we'll get that. Oh man, this one's tearing. Alright, peel that up. Oh, they scraped this one. I thought that was adhesive, but it's the metals like scraped up. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna go ahead and remove the adhesive over here. All right. For some reason, this one's not starting as easily. There we go. Come on. Oh, this adhesive is the kind that just shreds up, so I'll do that one last. That one's gonna be a little bit of a pain. Okay, so peel this adhesive up, get it started. Come on. Oops. So you can see sometimes the adhesive is a pain to remove. Here we go. And you kind of want to peel it slowly. If you peel too fast, it tears really easily. So, okay, just like that. So there's some residue I'm gonna have to clean up, but not bad. All right. Just like that. Peel it up. All right, so we got all of that. Let's try and get the center ones out now. Center ones are looking like they're gonna, oops, did I break my tool? Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and scrape this out. This one looks like a pain. I might have to, let me use my metal tool actually. Yeah, this adhesive is like, this is the kind that just shreds all up, so it's gonna be a big pain to remove it all. Alright, so I'm going to just use my metal tool and slowly scrape it all, and then I'm going to have to clean this off with the rubbing alcohol, because this is going to leave behind a lot of the residue. Alright, just like this. Alright. Apple does this to make it harder to do. Alright. Go ahead and do this for all the other ones. Pretty sure they're the same type of adhesive that just shreds up. Yeah, I can tell from scraping it. Okay, last one. Almost done. And then we're going to clean off the residue and attach the new battery. Okay, there we go. Alright, so to get the residue off, we're going to use rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Okay, just get some paper towel. I like tear it in half, so I just have a small one like that, and then I fold it up. Alright, I'll take the rubbing alcohol and I just pour some on there. You don't want to do this over the computer because you don't want to spill it all over it. And then just kind of wipe off wherever you see the residue. Excuse me. Okay. Just like that. Get off all that adhesive residue. Sometimes it takes a while to get it out. Just put some elbow grease into it. Alright. There we go. Alright. This one, because I kind of scraped it up with the metal one to thin it out, it comes out. It's not too bad. Alright. Okay, so you can see it's still kind of sticking. I'm gonna now fold it backwards so I can get a clean spot without the adhesive residue and continue wiping. Alright. Alright, let's turn it around so I can reach the other side a little bit better. rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Just make sure this is all cleaned up. Alright, just like that. And then we'll dry it off. Go. Okay, so now we're going to get the replacement battery and we're going to put this cable on it. Okay, let's go ahead and open that up. So the replacement battery will come with some plastic on top of it. You want to leave it there so the plastic helps hold the packs together so that you can line it up properly. All right. So again, I'm going to reattach this cable. Let me see if I can show this here. Okay, let me actually flip this and we'll actually drop the battery into place. So actually we can't drop the battery into place yet because we have the adhesive things in. Okay, so we're going to attach this. Let me zoom in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and flip this latch up. And then we're going to go ahead and put this cable back in. I know it looks kind of blurry, so I don't know. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All right, this cable, sometimes I have to kind of like fold it back to make it easier. This, all right. And then kind of just guide that cable in. Sorry, my hand's going to be in the way. But guide that cable in. Right, just like that. Make sure that it goes in all the way. There we go. You will have some of the gold part sticking out like that. Slide your finger over the top. You don't want to like try and nudge it over. You want to kind of slide your finger over so that way it rolls the connector down. All right, so I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to install the battery now. So you leave this thin plastic layer on top. That's to keep these battery packs lined up. And we're just going to peel off this bottom layer, okay? Just like that. If this part doesn't peel off, then they must have done the adhesive, these little blue things wrong. And you might have to get a replacement battery, okay? So anyways, we'll do that. So get it all lined up. Slide the little, this part underneath that tab first. Make sure it's lined up. And then you can drop these 3 packs into place. Okay, just like that. And then you can go ahead and push them down. Okay, so there we go. Next, we're going to put back these 2 little screws here. Okay, just to make sure everything stays lined up using the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. So I'm going to loosely fit these screws first. So just get it in there, but don't tighten it all the way down. Okay. All right. Should probably zoom in a little bit for this part. Why is this screw being difficult? Okay. Get that lined up. Oh, there's like glue or something in this screw. I don't know who worked on this. They got something in there. It's making it tough to keep it on the screwdriver. Let me see. I might have to use a needle and clean that up first. Yeah, okay. I'm going to clean out this screw. There's something like clogged in there, so hopefully I can actually clean it out. Okay, it looks like it came out. Okay. Now it should hopefully be, there we go. All right, so the main thing you want to look for, these metal, the gold pads that are under here. I don't know if you can see them, but there's two gold pads there. You want to make sure they're centered when this metal tab goes down. So let's see if I can show this. So if I were to push this tab, you can see that this one is so far over. So you have to kind of like line it up more to the left, okay? Like that. And then we'll tighten the screw down. There we go. We'll tighten this screw down. Okay. Right, just like that. Okay, now we're going to put the trackpad in. Okay, same thing, just the reverse before. Lift this up. Okay, pass the cable through. Just like that. Get that in. Okay, and then you're going to want to grab a couple of the screws. Just drop it in there. Oops, I forgot we left the plastic wrap on. So I guess I'll put the bottom screws here first. You don't want to tighten it all the way down, and I'll show you why in a bit. Alright, just peel this, get this out. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to let that drop down. We're going to peel this clear adhesive off. Okay. When you peel it, you kind of want to roll it back like this. Don't pull it straight up, because otherwise it will separate the layers of the battery in here. So you want to just peel it back like this. Okay. Okay. Oh, it peeled some of that foam off. All right, just like that. There we go. All right. So you can throw that away. And then let's go ahead and reattach the trackpad cable. There's a little dust in there. Let me try and get that out. Okay, that worked. All right, so we'll get this connector, line it up, and then push it down. Clicks in really easily. Let's go ahead and put this piece on top as well. Like that, and just like this. All right, then tighten them down. You can go ahead and push this down. All right, so now I'm going to put back all the trackpad screws, but just loosely, and I'll show you why in a bit. We're gonna have to flip the thing over and then line up the trackpad, because a lot of times it won't be centered if you just put the screws in right away. If you tighten it down right away. Okay. Just like that. Get all the screws in. All right, so we got all those screws in. Now let's flip this over. You want to be careful not to like press all these things back down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover and I'm just going to kind of click it into place with one. If you want, you can actually just put like a screw or something, but I'm just going to like push this down and click it into place. All right, so now we're going to flip it over. And now what you want to do, let's clean all this dust off. But you want to make sure this is lined up properly. So as you can see, this kind of can move around. So you want to make sure that it's kind of centered. It's a little bit tough to get 100% centered, but just try and get it as close as possible. So that way, when you look at it, it's not going to look weird. All right, so there we go. So you hold that down, and then you get a piece of tape and just tape that in place. Okay. And do that on both sides. Okay, just like that. Check it, make sure it looks centered enough. Okay, it looks like I should push it up a tiny bit more here. There we go. All right, so there we go. It's all centered. Okay. So now we're going to close it up, flip it back over. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop the cover back off. Same thing as before, just like this. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten down the screws completely. So I like to do from one corner first, and then do the other corner. All right, then you can go ahead and do the other corner, and then just tighten all the rest in whatever order you want. All right. Okay, and now we're going to reconnect the battery. So get the last T5 screw here. Check the tab, push it down, make sure it's as centered as possibly can with those gold pins. All right, or gold contact points. Tighten that screw in place. Then we'll get this connector back in. Let me zoom in so you can kind of see better. All right. There we go. Just get that connector in. All right, once you get that all the way in, you can go ahead and slide your finger over the top to latch it back down. This should have an adhesive that goes on. Just push that down, okay? And then you want to line up this little circle with this screw here. So like this, okay? And then you just roll it over like that and push these down. So they lost one of the little rubber thingies that's supposed to help hold it down, but there we go. I'm gonna clean some of this dust off and then I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So I just cleaned the dust off of the bottom cover as well as in here. All right, so we're pretty much done with this. So now we're going to put the cover back on. So to do that, you kind of have to put it at an angle, like how we removed it. All right, so kind of at an angle, slightly slid back. And then while you're kind of pushing on this little area here, you want to slide this into place, okay? So just like this. Same thing with the other side. While it's kind of opened up like this, you want to slide it into place. All right, make sure all the edges are lined up. And then once you got that, just click it back down. All right, the center too. All right, we're gonna test it real quick before we put back the screws. Let's go ahead and plug this in. Okay, just like this. Let's open it up. Take these tapes off. Okay. So usually if you go to turn it on right now, it's not going to turn on. You're going to have to actually plug it in. Oh, actually it is turning on. I feel it clicking. So sometimes it won't turn on right away and you will have to actually plug it in. So yeah. All right. Oh, it's working. Okay. So let me make sure it's going to charge. They said it was having some issues with the charge ports before, so let's see. Okay, it's charging. I hear the charging sound. Yep. All right. So it should be good. All right. So usually after installing everything, I like to do a PRAM and SMC reset. So SMC reset is Control Option Shift on the left side and then the power button. The MacBook should just turn off, and then to do a PRAM reset, what you want to do is give it a few seconds. Oops, it already turned on. So, but you do Command Option and then P and R. So if it starts itself up, what you want to do is just do a restart, and then Command Option P and R, hold those down. You'll hear the chime. The screen should shut off. If you don't see the screen shut off, you can just keep holding it. But once you see the screen shut off, you can let go, and it should chime a second time. And that's how you know you did it properly. Okay, waiting for that chime. There you go. And also the volume will turn itself to the max. That's how you know you did it right. So if you want to know what that does, just look it up online, but it resets like some system settings and things like that. It doesn't really affect data or anything, but it'll remember like your brightness preferences, volumes and things like that, and like fan stuff. So yeah, so I always do that whenever I change the hardware, so that way it can kind of like go ahead and reset all the stuff it has that it remembers from the past battery and things like that. All right, so now we're going to switch back to the Pentalo 1.2 or P5 screwdriver, and we're just going to put back these screws. Okay, so one there, this corner. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put the 4 back in the bottom. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Share my channel with others. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. All right, bye.